In my 2 decades between China and the rest of the world, I lived all kinds of stories. Today, let's talk about the darker ones. Today, I want to tell you about a specific one where I nearly ended up working at what we call in China a pig butchering scam company. So it's not an easy story to share, but recent news about the US government seizing 15 billion in Bitcoin from a Cambodia-based scam group made me realize how many people still don't understand the massive threat this China-born fraud poses to those of us in the crypto world. I thought I'd share it with you because I was thinking maybe with my personal experience we could seize the opportunity to break down what a pig butchering scam really is and in the meantime help you not to fall a victim for it. It's that efficient that it manipulates people and it manipulates them so good that some victims, even when they suspect they are being scammed, they still willingly fall into the trap. And at the same time, we can analyze why this Asian-born scam found its perfect, prey in America. And after that, if you understand all of this, you'll get better at protecting your assets, your money, your crypto wallet, your trust and emotions. So let's get into it. Let's start with my story. So, if you don't know me, I'm Cédric. I'm a French guy who studied and went to university in China, lived in China maybe 10, 15 years in the last 20 years. At that time, I was just fresh out of the university. I was in Shanghai at the time, where I met some amazing friends, from all over the world. I met my wife there. Those were really great times. And then I wanted to stay in China after graduation. I started job hunting. And I found some opportunities, like to export products, stuff like that. But one day, I got what seemed like a perfect offer. It was a big company with its own cosmetics, health products, and even a clothing brand. They were located in a fancy downtown office building with 100 of people on our floor alone. And they told me they wanted to go international. And they needed someone like me who understood both Eastern and Western culture, as I do, and speak fluent Mandarin. I was told I was a perfect fit. And honestly, yes, I was thrilled. It felt like the start of a dream career. And for me, as long as I was not a white monkey, it was good. But, I soon noticed some things were off. The company, they had a huge sales team, but they never met their clients. And they were working in a fancy way, in a strange way. Each person managed multiple phones. They were glued to messaging apps on their computer all day. So I started discussing with them and I got to know them better. And one thing leading to another, I uncovered a secret. They were not really selling products. It was not, your usual cosmetic brand company. They were, in fact, industrially manufacturing love. The company, they had an internal website, a massive database filled with thousands of photos, Michelin star dinners, private jet windows, limited edition watches, you name it. They'd pull images from this library, this database, to craft profiles as wealthy, charming, or some innocent dream partner. They also had a thick playbook, more detailed than any movie script. But that's what it was. A script that you could adapt to your target. For example, if the target was a recent female graduate, you'd play a mature, wealthy, caring, older guy. But if the target was a man, you'd become a sweet, innocent, family-oriented, kind of the girl next door, trying to provide the perfect girlfriend experience. We kind of have the same script nowadays on OF, or professional Tinder scammers, by the way. But the playbook laid out a whole sales process. It would start with how to start a chat with a casual greeting, and then how to build trust over weeks of attentive care, and finally how to steer the target toward buying a low-cost product, but to sell it at luxury prices, if it was an exclusive custom item. The sale was really at the very end of what I found to be a really long relationship building process. It was about exploiting basic human emotional needs for money, for fraud. And what chilled me, and it chilled me really to the bone, it was that at a lunch with one of their guys, we were discussing and he casually, almost proudly, told me about a client of his, a married woman neglected in her marriage. And she admitted to him that she suspected he was a scammer, because for her it felt too good to be true. But she said that she didn't care. She even said that it had been so long since anyone really listened to her that she was willing to pay for that feeling, And I couldn't fathom how someone's loneliness, and craving for connection could be so precisely calculated and exploited. And a few days later, I decided not to pursue with this company and with this job opportunity, and I turned back, swearing not to have anything to do with them ever again, because it was too much for me. I understand that you have to build a relationship with your customers, it's networking, human relations, they are everything. But until that time, the worst I had seen was people working in the insurance business, Nothing like that. Nothing that went that far. It was crazy. Later, I learned that there is a term for this in China, they call it pig butchering. And alas, this company was just a light version of pig butchering. They were slaughtering people's wallet, but there were small players. Nowadays, the pig butchering scams are slaughtering not just your wallet, but your entire life. Forget OF, forget that old company in China or that those Tinder swindlers, There are stories even worse than that. Take Mark, for example, a man at a low point in life who met his soulmate, Jessica, online, of course. After months of chats, 100,000 words worth, he completely trusted her. And then, guided by Jessica, he started investing in crypto on a sleek-looking app. He made a small profit and withdrew them even, erasing his doubts. So what did he do after that? He went all in, using all his savings and even borrowing from family, friends. He watched the app numbers soar to nearly 2 million, thinking a bright future was near. He finally made it. Then one day, his account showed a negative 1 million balance. And, of course, Jessica vanished. That's what we can see nowadays. If Mark's story was financial ruin, 82-year-old Dennis Jones' story is pure tragedy. This divorced grandfather, he fell in love online with a woman named Jessie. And he invested his life savings in her recommended fake platform. Again, the same thing. But after being drained of every cent, Mr. Jones took his own life. His daughter said there wasn't even enough money left for his headstone. Yeah, that's the kind of stories we can have those days, and they happen every day. And behind these tragedies, it's the same highly sophisticated, ruthless process. According to the FBI 2024 report, US losses from crypto-related fraud hit a record 9.3 billion, up 66% from the previous year. Pig butchering scams alone accounted for 5.8 billion of that. And that's just the reported cases. Of course, when you are scammed like that, oftentimes you don't want to share your story. And if you want to know how crazy it is, now enter the latest news. Chung, the ringleader in Cambodia, whose seized Bitcoin are worth over 15 billion. How many shattered families and astronomical losses does that represent? So let's get back to the important point here. We all need to understand how this scam operates so that we can avoid them. And as it's the most frequent one, let's go into the details. The first step of this scam is picking the pig, finding the target, the mark, as the scammers say. For that, scammers will use stolen or AI-generated photos to build perfect fake personas on social media. They will cast a wide net with tactics like wrong number texts to quickly identify targets with savings, but emotional loneliness. So in the first few chats, they will aim to collect 8 key details. Your name, your age, your job, the city you are in, your family background, your hobbies, your schedule, and of course, your investment history. They need all that to filter high-value targets fast. And the best defense for us, what is it then? Now that we know the first step, of course, it will be to guard our personal infos when chatting with strangers. Guard your infos and don't boast online. Same principles here. Then the second step is to fatten the pig. This is the critical phase. It can last weeks or even months. Sometimes 18 months. They will bombard you with care and sweet talk, making you feel like the most special person in the world, building unshakable trust. And it works. One of the victims, she received 560 photos from her scammer. How can you still believe it's a scam? Of course it feels real, but no, it's not. That's the beauty of it, in a way. Then the third step, they will make the cut. When the time is right, they will casually mention a secret investment opportunity, sometimes even framed as a step forward, our shared future together. Just hints at first, teasing you, sometimes even telling you not to invest or not to go so fast, so that you are eager to go to the next step. And of course, the next step is the fourth step, the slaughtering. Because now you are ready. Either it's them proposing or you asking because you can't stand it and you want to go to the next step with this person. That is at this time only that they will guide you to a fake investment platform that looks more legit than the real thing, But your money will go straight into their pockets. And the raising numbers you will see on screen is just code they manipulate. And when you have invested everything or gone into debt, they will vanish, completing the slaughter. And yeah, it's the end. You've been scammed. You were the perfect target, especially if you are American. You see? Yeah, let's talk about that. Pig butchering started in Taiwan, then spread to mainland China with the rise of the internet and smartphones. And as China cracked down, these crime groups, they moved their factories to Southeast Asia, where war, corruption, and weak economies create a criminal paradise. And there, they even enslave people working for them with no fear of punishment. It's really crazy. It's the compound that they have there. But yeah, why are the Americans footing the biggest bill for this Asian-born scam? You see, it's a perfect storm of two worlds, two cultures, and two desires. It's like planting a toxic flower in uniquely fertile soil. And Asia provides all the nutrients. Because in Asia, first, there is the ready-made crime blueprint. Telecom fraud has been refined in Asia for decades, dating back to the 1990s in Taiwan, as I was saying. Taiwan was even called at the time the fraud island. And from simple lottery scams to complex scripts impersonating authorities, this kind of remote psychological manipulation. This blueprint then came to China. There, it mutated in a huge market. It's China after all. And it evolved in the patient, high-level emotional manipulation of big butchering. So that's the second reason. There is a vast human fuel supply here. And at the same time, it's the saddest part. In East and Southeast Asia, young people face immense survival pressure. Economically, countless youth desperate for a better life are lured by high-paying overseas jobs, only to become enslaved in scam compounds. And emotionally, the pressure in like China, with stuff like marriage urging, where being single near 30 years old brings suffocating family and social judgment, it makes people vulnerable to scams and gives scammers authentic inspiration. And the third reason is there are lawless criminal paradise nearby, like parts of Myanmar and Cambodia, where war and corruption let them build walled compounds with thousands of enslaved workers. So here you are, a polished crime script, plus endless cheap labor, plus lawless zones, and you end up with those perfect scam factories. So here we have the toxic flower. But what about the Americans being the biggest market? The, most fertile soil? There are reasons too. First, there is what we could call wealthy loneliness over there. It sounds odd, but the US is a rich nation with significant savings, pensions and credits. Yet, its fast-paced, individualistic culture leaves many craving genuine emotional connection. A perfect lover offering care, patience and 24/7 companionship fills that void. Scammers don't just sell love, they sell the luxury of emotional value, something like that. Wealthy Americans are able and eager to pay for it. And then secondly, there is a cultural obsession with get-rich-quick schemes, get-rich-quick myth in the US. From the gold rush to Wall Street, America loves the idea of fast wealth. And crypto, of course, it's the latest get-rich dream. So when your trusted lover, shares an insider tip to double your money fast, emotional trust and wealth fantasies make it irresistible. That's the perfect mix. That's a perfect offer. And finally, we could even ask why crypto? Because crypto is the highway linking Asia's factories to America's market. With crypto, a scam run from a Cambodian compound can drain a US retiree bank account in minutes, with transactions nearly impossible to trace or easily laundered. So it's a brutally efficient cross-border business model born from Asian social pressures and governance gaps, perfectly exploiting American emotional needs. Knowing all that, how it works, it's the basic to understand how to protect your money, your wallet, and your trust. And I hope that telling you my story and telling you this news and what's happening in this world now, it will help you stay sharp. But to double down on that, here are some more tips. First, the core warning is anyone you meet online, anyone you haven't met in person that pushes you to invest is 100% a scammer. No exceptions. No matter how sincere they seem, you have to start with that and to be paranoid. Then be always on the lookout for red flags. If you get a wrong number, a mistaken text message, it's fishy. If, a new friend call you babe or darling within days, it's classic emotional bombing. It's fishy. If their persona is perfect, their lifestyle is lavish, but they always refuse to meet, it's fishy. If they casually mention, insider tips or I have an uncle who is making me rich because he has this secret opportunity, it's fishy. If they push you to download sketchy investment apps or websites that are not mainstream, it's fishy. Those are all red flags. You have to stay skeptical. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Talk to your family and friends. They can see things clearly. They are outsiders. They will see the big picture. But be careful, because the scammers are good at that too. Oftentimes, they will try to turn you against your own family. And most importantly, never send money to someone you've never met in person. Yes, just don't. All right. Yeah, that sums it up. Pig butchering preys on our softest spots. Our longing for love and trust, and I long for them too. You certainly do too. But real love never comes with a price tag. I hope my story, my experience, and the news lately will give you the wake-up call I think a lot of people need in this space. Please share this video with your family and friends, especially parents or elders on social apps, because that could save their lives. That small action of sharing this video could save a family, literally. Just be safe out there, guys. Please subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Tell me if you like this kind of, more story time like videos where I tell you about my stories and my past. If you like that, leave a comment and I'll see you in the next one.